fractions. Which one is greater? Well, 1/2, we have 2 parts. 1/3, 3 parts. So we can see that 1/2 is, if there are only 2 parts, then each part is larger. So we can say that 1/2 is larger than 1/3. Understanding fractions helps us figure out how to add and subtract them. For example, one-fifth plus 2/5. Once again, divide them into the pieces. 1/5 means 1 part. 2/5 means 2 of these parts. So when we add that up, we see that 3 of the parts are colored. Some students memorize. They go, oh, when I add or subtract fractions, if the denominator is the same, we just add the numerator. You can do that, but you really should understand why. If you understand why, you won't have to memorize it. It's just 1 part plus 2 parts. Gets us 3 parts out of 5. That's it. 1/2 and 2/4. Which one is greater? 1/2. Well, 2/4 is really just like this. We can see that 2/4 and 1/2 are really the same. They're equal. So we can say 1/2 is equal to 2/4. In fact, these two fractions, because they're equal, they're called equivalent fractions. They will help us add and subtract fractions when the denominator are not equal. So for example, let's say we want to write 3 equivalent fractions of 1/5. Well, with 1/5, we want 3 equivalent fractions, so I'm going to make them all the same. 1/5. They have to be the same size. 1/5. We're talking about one piece out of 5, 1 piece out of 5, 1 piece out of 5. Well, if we divide this in 2, now we have 2 times as many parts. Whoops. Now we have 10 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have 2 of them. So 2 out of 10 is an equivalent fraction. Similarly, we can divide this into 3 parts. If I do that, times 3, and I get 3 out of 15. Okay. This might look more complicated than it really is, but the idea is we're just dividing the same fraction into more pieces. In other words, we could just multiply the top and the bottom by the same number and it has to work. So if we have 1/4, then we can do 2/8, 3/12. These are all equivalent because 1 times 2 is 2, 4 times 2 is 8, 1 times 3 is 3, 4 times 3 is 12. These are all equivalent fractions. Why is it useful? Well, if we want to add these 2 fractions, well, I can see that they're not the same, but 3 times 4 is 12. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to times 4 here, times 4 here. We know we can do that. They're equivalent fractions. 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 3 is 12. And remember, we just add the top. So 5/12. One more example, one final example for this video. Subtraction works the same way. 2 times 3 is 6, so I'm going to times 3 times 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. So we have 3/6 minus 1/6, which is 2/6. That's correct. That's also equal to 1/3. But 2/6 is also a correct answer. Okay. That's it for this video.